Falkirk make 2 changes from last week's 1-1 draw at Dumbarton. Aaron Muirhead is back from suspension and comes in for Kevin McCann. He made his debut last time out. Tom Taiwo gets the nod in central midfield, deputising for Mark Kerr. He is banned this evening. 17-year-old Kevin O'Hara, who asked questions of Rangers in Falkirk's December win over them, and former Livingston attacker Miles Hippolyte are options in reserve. 2 alterations for Rangers as well, in their case from the side that overcame Morton 3-1 last Friday. Starts tonight for Rob Kiernan, whose suspension is over, and Billy King, scorer of the last gasp winner against Falkirk at Ibrox on the 30th of January. Harry Forrester and Michael O'Halloran drop out of the starting 11. Only 6 on the bench, with a couple of the younger Rangers players heading for Scotland under-17 duty. Stuart, good evening to you. Let's talk tactics, shall we?
Yeah, I think they'll both stick to the regular formations. Falkirk 4-4-2. I think Baird up front will be a threat, as he always is. And for Rangers, a tried and tested 4-3-3 with ball sitting in the middle of the park, letting Holt and Halliday get forward. I tell you what, it's a lovely night. This is the best artificial surface by far. I'm looking forward to a really good game, Derek.
Likewise. So just about ready for the off. John Baird in position. Wiley centre forward. Second against first in the championship. Falkirk can make their presence in the playoffs an arithmetical certainty with a draw or better. Rangers keen to take another step towards the title and automatic promotion. Danny Wilson taking the early fall. This is what happened, Stuart.
Yeah, he got a sore one there. Miller's led with his elbow across him and just caught him on the side of the face, but sore Joe's got, but he'll get on with it.
Well, not stretched by the combative Lee Miller. His second spell with Falkirk. Wes Fodringham always confident with the ball at his feet. Interesting that Dom Ball is in the midfield area. James Tavernier over there on the right. Didn't stay and play for Rangers, wearing their change strips. And Mark Warburton knows it's getting closer and closer. Talking about the title push. They will clinch one of these days. Time will tell exactly when that is. Rob Kiernan. Back to Wes Fodringham. 4 more wins, incidentally, would get Rangers over the line, no matter what anyone else does. Tavernier. Confronted by the talented Craig Sibbald, born here in Falkirk, product of the youth scheme. Sibbald will cut in from the left. Andy Halliday had a bit of ground to cover. Tavernier once more. Rob Kiernan served his suspension. Definitely out to Lee Wallace. Barry Mackay scored a wonderful goal. Rangers' last visit, but not the desired outcome. 2-1 win for Falkirk, and they were excellent value for that victory. Blair Alston tried to get there. Danny Wilson beating him to it. Rangers have enjoyed 64% of the possession in the matches against Falkirk this season.
They've always been close there. They've been good games. I think even the last one here when it was 2-1, I think it possibly could have been a draw, but it was a terrific game.
It's one of the matches of the season in the championship. Will Vaulks knows a thing or two about scoring spectacular goals against Rangers. He's done it twice in this campaign. Tavernier is trying to steady himself. Jason Holt, who's been excellent wearing Rangers colours, and Tavernier nets, only to see that the flag is up.
That's what Rangers are good at. Miller comes out the centre, opens it up for a runner. I mean, the linesman's flag went up quite quickly there. I'll have a little look here. And as I thought, to be honest, it's not offside. I don't think he's offside on that one when you see it again.
Stuart Stevenson with the flag up. It's a close call. Baird tried to just steer it back there. The pass was made. Lee Miller in pursuit of it.
Yeah, at first, Derek, I thought Tavernier had come from a deeper position, but he was the furthest forward. But when you looked at it again, I think I have to see it again, but it looked as though he was onside there.
Bernard McCracken shepherding it through to Danny Rogers. One more look, Stuart.
Played in, there you go. It was onside, isn't there? There's no doubt about that when the ball's played. I think it's Big Muirhead at this side nearest us. He's playing him onside, and Rangers count himself unfortunate there.
Well, a big moment early in the game. The experienced McCracken sent off against Rangers in the Scottish Cup 2 seasons ago, denied a clear goal-scoring opportunity, faced as he was by Nicky Clark.
Good professional. Can't have enough of them in your dressing room, Derek.
There was a positive influence. Tom Taiwo there, with his injury problems earlier this season. Sibbald and Baird, nearly. Fodringham has custody of it for Rangers.
Yeah, really good football by Falkirk, getting a good area. It's a good diagonal run by Baird, just enough, too much on the pass, and the keeper does well to come out and snap it up.
Rangers, by the way, have scored in 24 successive meetings with the Bairns. Here's Mackay and Wallace offside.
I think he gets that one right. But again, you know, no surprise down this side. Mackay and Wallace all season have had a really good link-up play, and there again, Wallace just goes slightly early.
Well, Peter Houston, fantastic body of work as Falkirk manager. Started his coaching career here at Falkirk back in 1993. He was the youth coach, the old Brockville days. Used to call him the Ginger God in his playing days with Falkirk. Even had his own cheering section, Housty Hardcore. Probably still around. Backpedaling was Volks. He does get through a tremendous amount of work. Will Volks, multi-purpose player.
Yeah, he's been outstanding from all season. Not just his goals, as the lad spoke about earlier, but all round, you know, good midfield player, good passer, gets around the park, good tackler.
The on ball, there's Billy King out of the wide position, goal-scoring hero. The last meeting of the sides. Tavernier, Miller, just like that. What a start for Rangers. Well, they made it look simple. Kenny Miller there to plunder.
When I don't know, Tavernier runs off here. We'll see it in the build-up. It just runs in. Is it in behind? Going back, simple ball across, and I think even you'd have got that, Derek. But you know, they know what Tavernier's all about. He's going to get in there and puts it on a plate for Kenny Miller, and you know, great start for Rangers.
Well, Muirhead with the arm raised. Thought Miller was in the offside position. Had been a let-off for Falkirk in that regard earlier. But Miller has done it again, 16 for the season now.
I think it might have been young lad Olsen, Olsen, Sibbald, he run off behind there. And Peter will be really disappointed at that, because I think everyone knows by now, you know, Tavernier and Wallace are both want to get beyond. And good run, good pass, and simple finish for Kenny.
Just the start Rangers are after on this Friday night. Leahy for Craig Sibbald. To sweep it in, Danny Wilson away. That's a nifty play by Jason Holt. James Tavernier. Down went Kenny Miller. There comes Danny Rogers. He's on loan from Aberdeen. He was a key figure in the Falkirk win against Rangers back in December. Remember that penalty save right at the death to deny Martin Waghorn. Space opens up for Lee Wallace. Not much defending going on from Falkirk. Wallace and 2-0 Paddy Mackay. It's the perfect Rangers beginning.
And just as we talked about Tavernier on that side, again, everyone's aware of Wallace. It's easier said than done. Kenny Miller comes out that central role, picks it up, plenty of time to turn, actually points and tells Waldo where to go. Lee runs in, And again, similar to the first goal, right across the face of the box, and there's Mackay to tap into an empty net. And, you know, terrific start by Rangers, really good football. You can tell everyone's full of confidence, and you know, excellent goal.
Fluent, cogent, right from the start. And Barry Mackay enjoys this venue, I think. Scored for Mark Warburton's side here in December. That was an absolute corker. Had less to do on this occasion, but it's a wretched opening for Falkirk, you've got to say. John Baird. They're wriggling.
I've got to say, Derek, I'm not a huge fan of, you know, artificial. Oh, here we go.
Well, Sybil might be in here, and Fodringham, a concession of a corner. It came out of seemingly nothing.
Yeah, sloppy pass from Lee Wallace, unlike him. Probably could have struck it better. Well, here we go. He's trying to play out because they're playing with that much confidence, but keeper makes a comfortable save. As I was saying about the AstroTurf, not a great believer in them, but this surface tonight is there for you to pass the ball, because it is a really top-class surface. You know, the best one here.
Blair Alston will take it. Another Falkirk youth product. Just moving some debris off the pitch there. One or two streamers. A delivery by Alston, and McCracken tried to head it towards goal. He wasn't picked up. Alston, not quite.
I think that's a bad miss then. I need to see it again, but it looks like a free header from McCracken. Ball comes in. Don't connect, does he? Heads, I don't know if heads against his shoulder. That was a good chance, huh?
He scored just once this season, David McCracken. He's in the 2-2 draw at home against Wraith Rovers last month. Kenny Miller, who got things going tonight for Rangers. The tap-in finish, since added to the Rangers lead by Barry Mackay.
I've got to say, he's causing problems just by dropping off deep. It's allowing Halliday, even the two fullbacks, to go beyond him, and he's an intelligent player, Kenny. He's finding spaces. Falkirk are going to have to nail him down if they want to get back into the game.
Baird, taken away by James Tavernier. Andy Halliday. Rangers flowing early on here at the Falkirk Stadium. King trying to dovetail with Miller. Falkirk without Mark Kerr, and he's always a key component. Pass by Vaux. It's misjudged by Tavernier. Leahy venturing forward. It's Baird. Away by Rob Kiernan for Rangers. There's Tom Taiwo. Leahy, who recently extended his Falkirk contract until 2017. Acres of space afforded Billy King, and he slips it through. Mackay, insufficient power on the shot, just went a bit too wide.
Yeah, we'll see here again. It's like knife through butter through the middle. Slides it in, possibly just level. Just can't get enough on it and get back and clear it. But every time Rangers attack, it looks as though they're doing it at ease.
It's a Rangers team brimming with confidence. And Lee Wallace takes aim. Rogers, second time of asking.
Yeah, nice corner kick. I'm sure Lee would like to put it on his left foot, but steered it towards goal. It's so open. I mean, Falkirk have had a couple of chances, but it's like every time Rangers go down that end, they can create at will.
It's not a far cry from the wobbles of early winter that we saw from Rangers. Really in a groove now.
Yeah, consistency, playing with confidence.
Mackay, one of the biggest success stories for Rangers this season, Barry Mackay.
Yeah, I think if you look around the pitch, and you can say that about a lot of them, Derek, can't you? You know, obviously they had a little blip, but I mean, you can't expect to go through a season winning. I think what has been surprising probably is, you know, the little run that Hibs went on in the league. You know, to lose the three games that they lost. Nobody could see that coming. But while that Hibs have dropped, Rangers just maintained the form and gone from strength to strength. Really, you know, the performance against Dundee in the cup the other week was, you know, was outstanding. You know, they've got a big month ahead of them.
Yeah, that's not lost on the Rangers players. Kenny Miller. And Billy King sliding it to James Tavernier. Andy Halliday. This gives Rangers balance in midfield. Sibbald. Miller just left it for Taiwo. Rangers equally possession away from Tom Taiwo. Miller over there on the flank. Plenty of interchanging between the front three. Volks is going to ground there, gesturing towards the Falkirk bench. Well, look who's here tonight. The Celtic manager, Ronnie Tyler, doing a bit of homework on Celtic's Scottish Cup semi-final opponents.
Yeah, I'm sure Rangers will be watching Celtic tomorrow at Kilmarnock, no doubt about that.
There's plenty of spying missions, I think, in the near future, Stuart.
Yeah, I mean it's nearly a month away, the game, the semi-final, but it's getting built up from this early stage.
Bit of a mistake there by Tavernier, but he has recovered, and this is Kiernan. Dominic Ball, loan from Tottenham. And Barry Mackay, Muirhead struggling to get over there for Falkirk. Mackay, Miller, the 1-2, Barry Mackay, right across the face of goal. No takers. Rangers really are in the mood though. Halliday and Rodgers. Whatever it takes from Danny Rodgers. Difficult one.
Yeah, it's a great take by Halliday. Puts it on his chest into an area he wants it onto his favoured left foot. Good hit, probably too central, but again, just prior to that, I can't emphasise the role Kenny Miller's playing. Just comes off, nice little link play. Mackay does well, again across the box and just failed to get a touch on. I think it was Holt coming in there, but terrific football once again.
There's Jason Holt arriving on the scene, ghosting in. All he had to do was make contact. Tavernier on the way to the far post. Wide it goes this time. Andy Halliday in position.
You've got to remember, Derek, as well, what we're saying, Falkirk is the best defensive home record. Rangers have really started on the front foot. Looking to get a grip and maybe try to get a few passes together, but I think it's just on the break. You know, Rangers have got so many options, you know, good pace in wide areas.
Don't forget, only two visiting sides have prevailed here at the Falkirk Stadium in the current campaign. Peterhead in the Challenge Cup and Hibernian in the league. Sibbald has managed to keep hold of the ball. Tavernier and Fodringham. Wes Fodringham, the only Rangers player to feature in every minute of every game this term. Ball. Kiernan. His first ever senior start was here as a Kilmarnock player. Rob Kiernan, February 2010, and he was on the winning side with Killie. Beat Falkirk by a goal to nil. Craig Bryson with that goal. Tavernier. And just trying to keep it moving. Jason Holt to Got himself involved. Holt again to Miller.
There he is again. I mean, the two centre-halves of Falkirk don't know whether to go. One of them go in with Kenny. The two of them are staying because they know Holt or Halliday or Mackay's coming out from the wing. They're going to run centrally. It's a problem Falkirk have.
Sybil. Ball there to steer it forward again. Danny Wilson, 17th successive start for him. And the Kraken, back it goes to Rogers.
Just going on about Kenny without labouring the point. It's just, you know, in the last few years how much he's changed his game. Kenny used to be one, certainly as a young one, who wanted to run him behind, was always a threat down the side of centre-halves. Now he's using his intelligence, and in the system Rangers are playing, you know, it's paying full dividends.
In the 20th minute, great to have you with us on this Friday night. Coverage of the Ladbrokes Championship on BT Sport. Rangers with their eyes on the prize, moving inexorably towards the title in the second tier.
What word was that?
Inexorably.
Okay, what does that mean?
It will happen inevitably.
I see. I knew what it meant.
I know you did.
Just letting people know what they're on about.
Thank you for clarifying. Here's Tavernier. Hasn't scored in his last 13 games. He was in rare old goal-scoring form earlier this season. 11 goals in all for the flamboyant Rangers right back. Miller. Jason Holt. Stepped into the Rangers team this season, hasn't missed a beat. Former Heart of Midlothian man.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, had the time at Sheffield United last season and scored a lot of crucial goals for them. And the Rangers were delighted to get him.
Lee Miller. There's Dom Ball for Rangers and Tavernier forward. Mackay competing for it. Holt. Kiernan across the defence to Danny Wilson. Billy King. And Mackay back to King. Rangers making it all look pretty effortless so far tonight. Kiernan. King succeeded in getting the ball up to Lee Wallace. Time pass to Mackay. Options in there. Kenny Miller, one of them. Will Vaux. Two number sixes together. Vaux and Ball.
There's a good block in the end by Watson from Miller there. Good football again by Rangers, getting in behind.
Well, it's quite the uphill climb for the Bairns. So many positives to take from this season, and they still have designs on finishing above Hibernian, finishing second. It's got to be the main target for Peter Houston and company.
Yeah, certainly so. I think they'll be kicking themselves from last Saturday, you know, up at Dumbarton there. Dumbarton down to 10 men, 1-0 up, and then last minute give a silly, you know, penalty kick away and drop 2 points. You know, they could have been 5 points ahead of Hibs and put real pressure on, but you know, they've done terrifically well. I'm sure they'll be really looking forward to the end of the season and the playoffs that they go into.
There's Danny Rogers bringing down Christian Nade near the end. Gary Fleming converting from the spot. Last 5 minutes, well, that tells you the story. 75% of the possession with Rangers.
A bit like 3 quarters, like that, I think.
Another way of putting it, yep.
Matty level, you see.
Ball. Bounced off Sybil. Baird has had to work all the way back for Falkirk. Will Vaux. Not much for the home fans to cheer about so far. Tie work.
That's good passing.
Yeah, the shift over to Muirhead. And Muirhead caught by Lee Wallace.
Yeah, I think it was accidental, but you know, it's a good foul if you like. I don't think he really meant to do it, but he certainly catches him. But would have been burning down into the 18-yard box there. It would have been a tricky situation for Rangers. But I think it's obviously slightly different to last time we were when the young boy O'Hara played up top and had lots of pace and running in behind. Obviously Miller gives him a different dimension, looking to go aerially. But that was a good passing move by Falkirk up to there.
Luke Leahy tasked with taking this. The left foot of Leahy high into the night sky. Away by ball, not properly. And John Baird didn't get hold of it. Big one coming up this Sunday in the Ladbrokes Premiership. It's the Dundee Derby, live from Tannadice, on the air at 11:45. BT Sport 2 and BT Sport Extra 1 for all the SPFL highlights. Join us on Monday, 6:30, BT Sport 1. Gary Miller. Now Tavernier. Rangers in command. Tavernier's fronted pass was a good one. Mackay's in there and Miller's in there. And his progress being tracked by Muirhead.
Yeah, Mackay swapped wings with King and it's been good on that side as well. Again, the ball, good defending there. Kenny'd have been in for another one.
Andy Halliday to take the corner. Also making the late run, McCracken is trying to stay with him. Halliday controlled by Miller. Wallace. Tavernier. Goal kick.
Yeah, not one of his better efforts, but I think Rangers now, you know, certainly in the last couple of weeks, have started mixing up with corners. You know, predominantly early season they were doing a lot of short ones. We saw last week, you know, Kenny Miller gets a terrific header from the corner, so they mix it up. It's short. They've gone to Wallace, edge of the box, and they've put them in. And I think the likes of Kiernan, Ball, Wilson going in there, they've got height advantage as well.
The talk for a while, Stuart, was that Auchenhowie long throw-ins were frowned upon, and orthodox corners likewise.
Yeah, I mean, I think what they've done was 50 goals before they scored a headed goal. You know, yeah. That's the way Rangers were playing. But
Miller's pass through the middle. Holt. Rangers totally wired in here. And Falkirk not coming up with too many answers.
Well, it's hard work for them. You know, they're working hard, Falkirk. They're trying to plug all the gaps, but the movement of the Rangers players and the cohesion, you know, is terrific. You know, like I say, I keep watching the centre halves, and there's that much movement. Miller's out here now. Passing move.
Ball. King. He's on loan from Hearts until the end of the season, Billy King. His third start for Rangers. King just looking around him. Holt. Know each other very well in the Hearts days. John Baird. Tavernier was just trying to blot everything out on a crisp enough shot, and it's held by Fodringham.
Yeah, Baird did well down the side. Good ball into Vaux, and you know what he's capable of. He got a good shot away, straight at the keeper.
Let's have that in his repertoire, Will Vaux. 6 goals he scored this season. No goals in his last 13 matches. Kiernan, measured pass. Miller had strayed.
I mean, listen, you know, Falkirk can't have any criticism, certainly over the defensive work that they're holding a really high line. You know, and it takes an intelligent run to get in. Obviously, Kenny's strayed offside there, but there's that many options. It's difficult for the Falkirk to lay a glove on Rangers, and they get on the ball at the back. But then likewise, they're that high. There's a lot of space in behind for Rangers forwards and wide men to run into.
It's all a bit agricultural there. Kiernan on Miller, free kick to Falkirk. Looked like it was going to be swiftly taken. Will Volks sliding it to Blair Alston, reflection on its way through.
Yeah, didn't really catch it right, Alston there. Certainly was a deflection, must have been obviously a Falkirk player.
Rangers fans behind that goal away to our right, north end of the Falkirk Stadium. Very contented. There's a whirlwind start by Rangers. Taiwo goes in. And Baird. Miller's made the run. Sibbald. Better from Falkirk. It's in by Baird. Got it away by Ball. And collected by Fodringham.
Yeah, nice little bit of play, link-up play. Falkirk have just got to stay in it, you know, up till half-time, because listen, everyone knows if Rangers are on top of the game, you know, that they're going to be difficult to stop. Well, Falkirk need to, as I say, stay in it, and you know they've got players to create opportunities. They need to get the next goal.
Kiernan from the back. Halliday. That was by Volks. Kevin Clancy, the man in the middle. League Cup final referee last week. Thoroughly enjoyed the experience.
I've got to say, back under I think at Motherwell when Kevin just came in, I thought he was the best referee. I really liked him. Good young referee, likes a game go and can speak to him. He's got a good demeanour about him.
Took charge of the Rangers Falkirk match at Ibrox just a few weeks ago. Danny Mackay. Lee Wallace. Possession is a big part of Rangers' game under Mark Warburton. Falkirk struggling to get much of a look in the possession stakes. They're very inventive. In the December encounter, Falkirk, they mixed things up. Counter-attacked beautifully in that game. Rangers plenty to ponder. Paul Watson moves across here, shuffled. Out of play. Corner, which was taken by Wallace. Short corner favoured. Holt. King. And just keeping things ticking over. Danny King for Lee Wallace. Spectacular save by Danny Rogers. It needed to be.
Yeah, really good strike by Wallace. Puts it onto his left foot. If he saves it, you'd probably point the questions at the goalie. So he does what he's there for, gets it over the bar. Similar to the one Wallace got the other week. Banked with his left foot this time, he drilled it with his laces. Good effort by the fullback.
Watson and Kiernan together. Tavernier takes it. Miller with a downward header. New head away for the Bairns.
Again, very similar to the goal Kenny scored last week, you know, coming off into the area, outswinger, 6-yard box, header.
There's Leahy. One of the more creative players for Falkirk just haven't been able to get into the match. The likes of Sibbald and Alston. There is Blair Alston. Leahy went down for a second. Alston, Ball taking charge.
Yeah, pretty play by Falkirk, some nice passes. Good strength by Ball there, snuff it out.
Leahy through the legs of King. Blair Alston. Here it comes. Miller was positioned in the centre. Taiwo. Now Volks. Now Newhead, former Partick Thistle defender. Vanderham at right back with Falkirk. Used to be a central defender. In there by Sibbald. Alston. Now Leahy, and it's Kiernan. Fires it away. On ball. Not exactly what he had in mind. Falkirk have it again. It's been a bit slow in developing from Falkirk in this first half. That's a tribute to Rangers and the way they've gone about their business.
Yeah, as we said before, it's a little bit of a different dynamic to what they had last time here. We were harder up front, had the pace and energy to go down the sides of them. It's a little bit more methodical, but a good passing side, Falkirk.
Alston chips it in there. Routine for Fodrigan. Quick reminder, it's Fletch and Sav coming up tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the morning, BT Sport 1. And that will lead you nicely into the Barclays Premier League, and Everton against Arsenal. BT Sport 1. Also get closer to the action in 4K on BT Sport Ultra HD. Ten minutes to go to half-time. Rangers on easy street so far. Miller, playmaker, and Holt. Well, the flag does go up as he sweeps it home.
Yet again, Miller causing problems coming into that area of the park. Nice ball through, and I think Holt's just offside there, yeah. But there's big holes in the Falkirk back line, simply because of problems Kenny Miller's causing them by just drifting into that area and leaving space in behind.
We spoke about it earlier, Stuart. We are seeing another side of Kenny Miller's game. All the great professionals are able to do that, able to adapt as their careers move to an end. I'm sure he won't mind me saying that.
No, I think that's fair comment, but everyone knows he's obviously got the experience, but he's also got the hunger. And training day by day, shows the hunger, professionalism. You can't underestimate the experience players that are needed on and off the park when you're at a club of the size of Rangers with the expectation that's required.
Just a mild rebuke there for John Baird. This is Ball. Rangers trying to stretch Falkirk once more. Kenny Miller once loses out. Ball goes in again. There's Leahy. Miller. Well, the referee, Kevin Clancy, spotted that.
I think that's the first time. I think it's Leahy who comes from left back, decides I'm going to go put a bit of pressure on Miller. He's having it too easy. You see him stands on his foot there. Referee having a word with him, keeping his cards in his pocket. But I think because of the way Falkirk play, the 4-4-2, they haven't got an anchor man, as if you like, as a central holding midfielder that would snap up Miller when he comes into that area. And the two centre halves don't really want to be going in there, and he's having the freedom and space to do what he wants, Kenny.
Peter Houston just talking it over with Andrew Dallas, the fourth official tonight. Let's have another look at that incident in a second. Knox and Ball were locking horns as well. There's Mackay. Volks with him. Warburton's turn to appeal. Also Wilson down further back.
People would say need to it'd be unfair on Barry, he needs to get to the gym, but no, that's a blatant push over. But I think Wilson again. Miller went up with him, and I think it's the way he lands. And that's the thing on this surface, you know, you do. If you fall, it's a sore one, that's for sure.
Danny Wilson just gestured over to the assistant referee, Stuart Hodge. This is what occurred.
I don't think there's anything in that. Miller's not with his elbow, he's with his arm on his shoulder. I think it's a way Wilson landed.
Maybe a knee in the back.
Oh, I missed that, sorry.
Here's Tavernier. Nodded down by McCracken. Kiernan. That was by Leahy. Now Taiwo. Alston, Muirhead made a strong run on the right-hand side. Aaron Muirhead tried to deceive Lee Wallace. Throw-in coming up.
That's just a lovely night for football, Derek, isn't it? Absolutely lovely night. Nice to see three sides of the ground full as well.
Taken by Muirhead. And Tavernier. Decisively away. Kenny Miller. Back to goal. Wallace. King. And here's Holt. Trying to probe. A challenge from Alston. 5 minutes remaining in the first half. Rangers taking all the drama out of it early on, apparently. And on ball. And Barry Mackay did brilliantly. It's Taiwo who tried to intervene. It's Billy King. Danny Wilson back to Wes Fodringham.
Yeah, I think when clearing, obviously, the ball's got to go into Miller for it to stick. He's not going to be able to run the channels.
Another day showing for it. Wanted it by the eager Craig Sybil. Here's Lee Miller. He's give Falkirk a focal point in attack usually. Muirhead just glanced over to see where King was. Lost his momentum. Aaron Muirhead. Since losing to Falkirk in December, Rangers have played 15 matches in all competitions. They've won 13. Haven't suffered a defeat at all. Andy Halliday just off the pitch. As Barry Mackay tries to run at Craig Sybil. He's been caught by Craig Sybil. Free kick to Rangers, the outcome.
Yeah, it's good refereeing. It's a foul, it's a free kick. No need for a yellow card or anything like that. Get the game moving again.
And Halliday back on the pitch now. Mackay sliding it through for Miller to go after.
Yeah, again, it's a good run. It's a really good ball. Kenny just gets his toe on the end of that. Good movement.
And we're seeing real slickness from Rangers in attack. Alston, Muirhead. Unable to outrun King. Rangers trying to find an attacking gear once more. Holt and Lee Wallace. Falkirk have had a problem on this side in the first half. Behind for the corner by Paul Watson.
Yeah, again, Wallace showing his energy levels. You know, King's got back in for him. Track the full-back, big space down the left-hand side. Muirhead's out of position. Just can't get the ball across, but...
Lee Wallace, the Rangers captain. 3 goals in his last 3 games. It's Tavernier, no short corner here either. Kiernan and now Holt. Mackay to shovel it off. Headed behind by Miller, who was buttressing the Falkirk defence.
I'd be interested to see come half-time what Peter does, if he changes it about in any way, personnel or formation. I'm just quite comfortable at this moment in time.
And Watson with Kiernan. They've been seeing plenty of each other at set plays. Andy Halliday, and it's Rob Kiernan with a header. Not troubling Danny Rogers. He's on loan from Aberdeen. Danny Rogers being watched by the Dons boss Derek McInnes this evening.
Do anything for the night out, Derek.
These Friday night fixtures, generally a Scottish football who's who.
It's always good if you can get a win on Friday night and you can go watch the other sides on Saturday, and usually the crowds usually seem to be quite a favourite as well, and the supporters of Friday night football, certainly better than Sunday lunchtime.
We enjoy the Friday night games here on BT Sport. Rangers fans would have lapped up what they've seen in the first half. Baird. One-way traffic for the most part. It was Miller time early on this Friday. Kenny Miller finding the net. And then Barry Mackay with his second goal at the Falkirk Stadium this season. Rangers well on course for 3 additional points at the halfway stage. It is Falkirk 0, Rangers 2.
Ladbrokes backing Scottish football on BT Sport.
Say hello to the all-new Galaxy S7. It snaps pictures like a pro, even in low light. Lets you add memory to store even more photos.
You have more followers than me.
And it keeps up with your life, whatever the weather. It does all this and still turns heads. The all-new Galaxy S7 from Samsung.
Already got your free Brian toy? Now you can collect the all-new Miss Herbert or Stunned Herbert when you buy car or home insurance through Confused.com.
Blow me a kiss from across the room. Say I look nice when I'm not.
When you need to see a specialist, AXA PPP Healthcare can find you a choice fast.
Past my chair, little things mean a lot. Now I'm forever that
So you can get on with your life.
Little things mean a lot.
Enjoy 3 times the savings in Bath Store's Easter event. Save up to 50%, get an extra 10% off and a further 10% off too. Don't miss out.
At 12:30 every Friday, around Myrtle Farm, Somerset, there's a moment when time sort of stops. It's the moment the Thatcher's family see if their next vat of apple cider tastes as good as it should, because it's only then that they let it leave the farm. That's why Thatcher's is what cider's supposed to taste like.
I think that's why we are still together. Because of my nice, smooth driving.
It pays to be a safer driver.
That wasn't very good, Malcolm.
Using our Aviva Drive app to monitor your driving, safer drivers could save an average of £150 on our car insurance. Visit Aviva to download the app.
It's squeaky bum time for Brightside. He's 1 win away from his 5-team accumulator. But what he didn't bet on was the long arm of the linesman. The that's not going to ruin his night. He's Mr. Brightside. Bright in nature, bright in IQ. He knows at Ladbrokes 5 out of 5 you win and 4 out of 5 you don't lose. Place your 5-team ACCA at Ladbrokes this weekend. If one team lets you down, get your money back as a free bet.
Right now, thousands of children and their families are having to make dangerous journeys to seek safety. They've fled with what little they can carry, traveling miles across land or risking their lives at sea. Children who have survived the terrifying journey are arriving with nothing. Without food, water and shelter, their lives are in danger. Yet just £5 a month could help provide a child with enough life-saving food for a week, as well as other life-saving supplies. Please, text SUPPLIES to 70088 now to give £5 a month. UNICEF is on the ground, providing life-saving food and water to desperately hungry children. I've seen how UNICEF works to keep children safe, but we can't do it without you. No child should go without enough food to eat. Please don't wait. Text SUPPLIES to 70088 and give £5 a month to help save a child's life today. Thank you.
The future belongs to the fast, and to help you accelerate, we've created a new company, one totally focused on what's next for your business. Accelerating innovation, accelerating next. Hewlett-Packard Enterprise.
¿Las dos, por favor?
Vale.
Toma. Gracias. Chao.
On Blu-ray and DVD, the worldwide TV phenomenon returns. Game of Thrones Season 5 on Blu-ray and DVD now.
Don't worry, Arsenal fans. When you're trying to win the title, everyone gets a little edgy. It's time to think positive. It's Everton away. What's the worst that can happen? Maybe that wasn't the best example. But come on, there's still plenty of points to play for. Everton Arsenal, tomorrow, midday, live on BT Sport 1.
Ladbrokes backing Scottish football on BT Sport.
The MotoGP returns to our screens this weekend. The season kicks off in Qatar. Qualifying is tomorrow, 2:30 p.m. on BT Sport 2. And tonight at 10 p.m, Jorge Lorenzo Guerrero, a special documentary taking a look at every race of the epic 2015 season through the eyes of the world champion, with exclusive insights from the people that made his championship dream possible. It was one of the most talked about and tense title fights ever. It does look though that this title race is all but over, because Rangers are in cruise control here in Falkirk. Alex Ray and Stephen Craigan have been watching on 2-0, and my word, they started well tonight. Stephen, we were wondering how many goals they might score in the early minutes. It could have been 3 or 4, but 2 well taken goals.
Well, Rangers just blew Falkirk away. You know, they were on the front foot. You know, we spoke at the top of the programme, said would they learn from their last visit here, but I think the goals are preventable from Falkirk's point of view. You get Craig Sibbald in a left back position, and I just think when there's no pressure on the ball, you have to force that ball to go outside you. You can't allow it up your inside shoulder, because once Tavernier's in behind you, he's got the free rein of the pitch. He can pick people off, and the second goal was the exact same. This time it's Blair Alston. Again, it's pleasing on the eye from Rangers' point of view. It's a good ball over the top. Lee Wallace, again, marauding over the top. But when you strip it down, you look at Blair Alston's positioning. There's no pressure on the ball. He has to allow the ball to go outside. I think as a defender, in a wide area, when you're under pressure, you must take a step in the pitch. You must allow the ball to go outside you, because once it goes up your inside shoulder, into that space, you can't recover. And both goals, for me, could have been preventable.
2 assists from the fullbacks. From Rangers' point of view, they'll say they're great goals. But if you are going to defend that well, does it take complete defensive discipline from the entire team, Alex?
Yeah, absolutely, and I think he's right when Stephen says is they both of them get too square there and allow so much space in behind. One of the things that's striking for Demia is such a high line, particularly with that second one there, the high line, and some of the instances we'll see later on as well, is there's so much space for them to play that ball into. Because they could have actually scored before that. It should have been a goal. In fact, James Tavernier through and does put the ball away into the back of the net, and he is clearly onside. Yeah, absolutely, and again, they're trying to squeeze the ball here, but
trying to squeeze the ball, and he goes through and he puts it away, and it's clearly on.
Yeah, it's a poor decision actually, you know, as the linesman's looking along the line there, but again they're trying to hold this high line again. Mackay goes round the goalkeeper and should score, he just overruns it there, but they're really struggling with the balls run behind. Stephen touched on it prior to the show, they didn't get enough runners in the last game, they're doing it in waves here.
It's criminal, you know. More often than not, the Rangers players have got time in the ball. You know, they can pick people off, and when somebody has time in the ball, the last thing you want to do is run towards them. You have to try and sometimes protect the space. There's another example of somebody allowing the ball up their inside shoulder, but once you give Rangers ownership of the game, once you give them confidence, once they gather momentum and rhythm in the game, they're very, very hard to stop.
What can Falkirk do to try and stop this tide? Now, what should Peter Houston be saying in there? What can he say?
First and foremost, they need to engage the ball more there. They've got so much time there that they're picking these passes. The midfield need to get closer to the game, but I think from Peter's point of view, he'll be really saying to them, listen, 2-0, we've got a way out of jail here. It could have been 3, 4, 5 there, and I think 1 goal and we're back in the game.
Okay, perfect start for Rangers tonight. They know they're just 4 wins away from the title. It's looking like it's only 3 wins now. Kenny Miller got the first tonight. They could have been 1 ahead before that, but Miller did get them on the score sheet, and Barry Mackay, much talked about this week, made it 2. The second 45 is on the way next.
Ladbrokes backing Scottish football on BT Sport.
It's brilliant, always pumped up. Oh, what a brilliant finish.
A simple goal, but a super goal.
Nothing here to see, just a kid like me, trying to cut some teeth, trying to figure it out. Nothing better to do when I'm stuck on you. I'm standing here trying to figure it out. I let it go, 'cause I won't see you later when we're not allowed to talk it out. I said I'd go, promise I won't show, but I'm still trying to figure it out. I throw my shoe, take a bet on you, but you didn't know I planned it out. I said I'd go, yeah, I won't see you later when we're not allowed to figure it out. Nothing here to see, just a kid like me, trying to cut some teeth, trying to figure it out.
With AXA car insurance, wrong fuel cover comes as standard.
Little things mean a lot.
It's my first game. Got any tips?
Tips? Yeah. Check out this great offer.
Get your mobile out.
Whoa, I'm having that. Got any more?
Yeah. Your lens cap's still on.
Download the Coral app and check out our great offers.
Please bet responsibly.
A chance of finding someone who's perfect for me. That's why I'm Elite Singles.
EliteSingles.co.uk for single professionals.
I can tow you to the local garage, but the part you need isn't going to be cheap. What do you want me to do?
I need my car. I can't have it stuck at a garage out here. I need it on the road. Who can help? Quick, think.
Let's get it to the garage and see if they can fix it today.
Restore some order with a short-term loan from Quickquid. Find out more at quickquid.co.uk.
Bald works for some men, just not for me.
Contact us for a free consultation or go online. Hair loss? Belgravia Centre.
I'm sorry. Mistakes are part of being young. I'm sorry. So
Wash away the stain, not the paint, with Dulux Endurance.
This is the moment someone wins the car of their dreams. The moment they get behind the wheel for the first time. It's the moment they hear us say, "You're the winner." There's a guaranteed winner every week at VOTB.com. £16 million of prizes have already been won. Tickets start from just £3. Enter now and get £5 for free at VOTB.com.
The Women's Super League returns, bigger and better than ever before. More teams, more stars, more headline makers. Doncaster Chelsea, this Thursday, live on BT Sport 1.
Ladbrokes backing Scottish football on BT Sport.
Rangers are already out behind us here, ready for the second half, and why not? Because the talking was probably brief in there at half-time. It was a perfect first half for them. Did we give enough credit to Rangers there in our analysis of how good they were going forward?
I thought they were absolutely unbelievable. You know, we've got Ronnie Daly and John Collins up there. They were taking the notes here because the rotation, King, Miller, Halliday, you know, it was unbelievable. And then you get the full-backs coming down the side, and you know, they've got full of running and energy. It was impressive.
That's Dyla to you, by the way. As for Falkirk, they're coming back out behind us there. Obviously they need to regroup, and very quickly, because it was a terrible start to the first half. They can't afford that again here.
Well, I think they're caught in between, Dal, because if they open up and they attack too much and they leave themselves exposed, Rangers could pick them off even more. So it's a tough balancing act for Falkirk to find in the second half.
Okay, back over to Stuart McCall and Derek Ray.
Rangers' 40th match of the season, and pretty much a flawless first half display by the team wearing red tonight. Kenny Miller with the opening goal, Barry Mackay scoring the second. And away they go. It's Rangers playing towards their own supporters in this half. One of the last 6 matches in this fixture going the way of being ubiquitous tonight. Barry Mackay with that distinctive running style of his. Muirhead chasing to stay with him. Mackay and off Aaron Muirhead.
Started off where they left off, Rangers. Ball into Miller, comes into space, lovely chest control to Mackay. Good promising run.
King showing for the ball. Watson's been dragged over into the wider defensive position. It's Kenny Miller. Just wide.
Yeah, we're right behind that. I think Kenny knew what he wanted to do. He could see what he wanted to do, just didn't get enough on it. Left side. Tries to bend it outside the far post and bring it in, just never came in.
16 goals now for Kenny Miller this season. Mark Warburton must be delighted with what he has seen up to this point. Falkirk goal might have the effect of changing the atmosphere a bit, but quite frankly they've struggled to get deep into Rangers territory. There was that look-at goal from David McCracken, a header in the first half, but he fluffed his lines. Here's King. Holt. Danny Wilson. Rangers really cherishing the ball. King. That's Wallace. By Muirhead for the Bairns. So if Rangers win tonight, they would be on a pace to clinch the championship title against Dumbarton on the 5th of April at Ibrox. That would be assuming no mishaps for Hibernian and Falkirk. There's always a twist and turn somewhere, though, when you try to predict these things.
Yeah, it's impossible, certainly this season as well, throughout the leagues.
I don't think the Rangers fans would be averse to it happening in Govan on that particular day in early April. Will Volks. He's been watched by a number of clubs. Volks. He's a fine, if you like, two-way player. Can get forward, can shoot, can score, but he can defend too.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's shown his versatility as well. He's played at the back a couple of times last season for them. And bear in mind, well, Falkirk are missing the boy Grant, who's been out for the rest of the season. Unfortunate for the kid who's had a good season.
As Mackay's pass, Wallace trying to change direction. Taiwo. Falkirk have been caught with a higher line than perhaps they would want defensively. Rangers fullbacks have gone surging forward all evening. Tavernier on one side, Wallace on the other. Taiwo. The footsteps of Kenny Miller. Rangers have it again. 4 minutes into the second half.
Yeah, very comfortable at the moment. Pass and move. Everybody wants the ball, as you can imagine. Just a bit sloppy there, but yet again, just prior to that, Kenny Miller coming off into an area turner. He can do what he wants tonight, and I'm sure he's relishing it.
There's going to be a substitution here. Miles Hippolyte will be coming on, and that's it for Lee Miller. Bit of a struggle for Miller tonight. The old warhorse in attack.
Yeah.
Replaced by a different sort of attacker at Hippolyte, Stuart.
Yeah, you know, I don't think there's a surprise in that. Hippolyte, known in charge of Rangers last season at Livingston, scored a fantastic free kick. He's a dangerous player, has played wide. Maybe he'll go right up top and join Baird. It gives him a little bit of different option. He's got pace.
7th Falkirk appearance for Miles Hippolyte. And Muirhead getting into all sorts of trouble, and it was nearly another one. Halliday on the surge.
Yeah, sloppy play by Muirhead, gets caught in possession. Halliday robs him. Disappointed he didn't hit the target. It's a hard angle, in fairness. Cuts it across the keeper, just wide of the post. But you can tell Halliday relishes playing that further forward. I think early on this season, obviously Mark wanted to bring Boy Eustace in to sit in the centre role. Halliday's done that majority of the season, but now ball's in there, it gives him the freedom to get forward, and he's got a good left foot.
Baird. There's a tenacious competitor, John Baird. Best ever scoring season was with Montrose, 2007-2008, when he managed 25 goals, 18 in this campaign for Baird. What a play it has gone. Aaron Muirhead to throw it back in play. Here is Hippolyte. Halliday. Mackay.
Yeah, another careless pass by Muirhead, just going through one of them stages at the moment. A couple of bad passes. The next one needs to be a good one. Get his confidence back.
Something else for Rangers to think about. They can rack up 20 points from the final 8 games. They would better Hearts in terms of the overall record points total in the second tier. 91 points for Hearts last season. Still targets to aim at, even if they do, when they do, go on to clinch the title.
Yeah, obviously we know the final to come up, semi-final, so we keep winning. You know, that's what it's about, being a footballer and a manager. You want to win, keep it going, keep the confidence high.
That's the final you were referring to, Stuart, the Challenge Cup final against Peterhead, 10th of April, and the semi-final Of course, the Glasgow derby against Celtic, Scottish Cup, 17th of that month.
Oh, it's nearly a month away. Even now I'm getting bombarded for tickets, as if I can get any.
Civil offside.
No, what I will say, I think this one is certainly more eagerly anticipated than from the Rangers supporters anyway than last season. You know, it's a whole different ball game this year. I mean, it'll still be. I mean, Celtic will still go in as favourites, but you know, the way Rangers are playing, confident moving in, it should be intriguing. Having said that, there's still almost just under a month to go. A lot can happen in that time.
Halliday set to shuffle around. He knew that Taiwo was moving towards him. Wilson. Kenny Miller. A bit of risk about the challenge from Alston, but no wrongdoing. Taiwo. Barry Mackay for company. Wallace moves in. Here's Baird. Hippolyte was available. Fodringham has the ball. Hippolyte will be well known to Mark Warburton. He's on the books at Brentford as a youth team player. Well, he was sporting director at the Bees in London. Tavernier over the head of Miller, and this is Muirhead now for Falkirk. Rangers seemingly with a very firm hold on the reins tonight. Hippolyte. Baird. Kraken, who is the organiser-in-chief back there. Without young Peter Grant, an excellent prospect on the casualty list at the moment. Muirhead kept it in play, and Fodringham once more quickly gets on with it. Rangers trying to spread play out to Barry Mackay again. Trying to weave his way around. He had options there, Mackay.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. He tried to get Miller on the overlap. Good ball out there to Halliday. Mackay took it well.
Halliday nodding it back to Fodringham, the former Swindon Town goalkeeper. 8 clean sheets in his last 11 games.
I mean, everyone will talk about, you know, Waghorn, Tavernier, Halliday. Fodringham's been, you know, really consistent for Rangers from his first game.
Taiwo. Hawks just a bit short with that pass. The Rangers eventually win it. Halliday, Miller, Wallace. And it's repelled by McCracken for Falkirk. Taiwo. Baird didn't have the overdrive necessary. Rangers build from the back again. This is very much in their makeup nowadays under Mark Warburton.
Yeah, pass and move. Obviously they got off to a fantastic start, 2 goals so early, and that allows them to dominate. It's certainly been a hard shift for Falkirk up to now. Doesn't look like a way back for them, but while it's 2-0, you know, the next goal's all important.
Sybil trying to intercept that pass from Kiernan, but away goes Jason Holt. Craig Sybil with the foul. Quickly taken. Wallace has ventured forward again. Lee Wallace spoons it to James Tavernier. 2 fullbacks working together for Rangers. Tavernier, weaker foot, unable to hit the target.
Yeah, caught in, as you say, weaker foot, just can't keep it down, but just going back there. Good refereeing by Clancy again. A foul, yeah, by Sybil, but not worthy of a yellow card. So play on. That's the way it goes.
Harry Forrester getting his tactical instructions from David Weir. Forrester, who you'll remember did start the game last week against Morton. To be replaced half time, wasn't feeling well. Muirhead for Falkirk. It's Kiernan away. McCracken with the header that time. Hippolyte. Beyond here for Leahy. Rangers switching off for the first time tonight. Fodringham, Baird trying to get there, trying to reach the rebound. It was a scare for Rangers, no two ways about that. And Hippolyte now. Miles Hippolyte. Too strong.
Yeah, it was a game of cat and mouse down this side. King gambled that Falkirk would win it. Lee went the other way, and just got out to Lee, and good strike, good save. Bear just couldn't get on the rebound, but promising for Falkirk.
Towards Jason Holt and McCracken moving towards him. It's going to be the Rangers switch now. Barry Mackay just looking over to see that it's his turn to trot off. Scorer of the second goal this evening for Rangers, and Harry Forrester takes his place. Scored after only 13 seconds in the recent Scottish Cup win against Dundee. Kenny Miller trying to force another error there. It's McCracken. Back it goes to Rogers as we move towards the hour mark here at the Falkirk Stadium. Two early Rangers goals in this game. The two-punch knockout we suspected. Just a glimmer of hope for Falkirk going back to that last move. Rangers caught on the right-hand side of their defence.
Yeah, as I say, here we go, Hippolyte.
Tavernier has to go back quickly again. It's Hippolyte for Falkirk. Hippolyte, good ball to Will Vaughs, and he can hit them. Fodringham flings himself at it. Baird. Not to be for Falkirk.
It's a good pick-up by Hippolyte. Good cutback, great touch by Vaughs. Fantastic save. Great effort by the lad. Puts it in, not right in the postage stamp, but near enough. Great agility by the keeper. As you say, last couple of minutes, that's two opportunities they've had, and that'll just give them a bit of belief.
And the two opportunities, Stuart, stemming from this near side as we watch.
Yeah, Hippolyte's caught and played, don't he? As I say, the first one, it was Leah took the gamble that Falkirk would win it, and King didn't go back with him. That one, just good cutback, good play, good touch, good effort, but ultimately, top class save.
No shortage of goal attempts. You see the shots on target, 4 and 8 respectively for Falkirk and Rangers tonight. Dominic Ball, supporting player in midfield. Away by Aaron Muirhead. Paul Watson. It's in the Wraith Rovers side last season that knocked Rangers out of the Scottish Cup. A 2-1 win at Ibrox.
I remember covering that game. He was the man of the match. He was excellent that day.
Tavernier. King. Holt for Miller, and Billy King trying to carve out that pocket of space. James Tavernier into the clutches of Danny Rogers. 7,804 here at the Falkirk Stadium. It's a record attendance for this venue.
It's always good to see it, and Derek, when you go to any ground, you know the stands full, good atmosphere.
Hippolyte will work his way around Tavernier. The card is produced by Kevin Clancy.
He's giving it for a dive.
He has, yeah. Falkirk players were asking the question, but a yellow card for simulation.
From that angle, it looks as though he's got it correct. From our angle, right behind it, when I saw him pulling the card out, I thought that was a bit harsh for Tavernier. I thought it was a foul, but maybe got it spot on. Not a lot of argument from Hippolyte. Usually tells a story.
Here's Craig Sibbald. Hippolyte making the run higher up the pitch, and he has it now. Miles Hippolyte, can he finish? Pushed away expertly by Fodringer.
Yeah, again, Derek, in that area of the park, Kenny Miller for once gives the ball away. It's a fantastic pass, takes it well, cuts it onto his right foot. It's good skill. Bottom corner, one that you'd expect the keeper to save, but a good effort by Hippolyte.
Able to get off the mark with Falkirk. Miles Hippolyte. Blair Alston with the right foot. Deep delivery. Volks. Useful ball. McCracken. He was foiled. Offside it was.
Really good balling by Volks, and McCracken should score. Fodden doesn't know he's offside. Makes a good block. Yeah, as you can see, he's off. It's a really good ball by Volks. Headed down. Should score. Referee's linesman's flag up, should I say. Correct decision.
Well, Falkirk are making inroads, and certainly the introduction of Hippolyte has helped matters from the Bairns' point of view. Forrester just couldn't hold on to it that time. This is Volks for Falkirk.
Yeah, slightly changed a little bit. Sibbald's one who's trying to help Baird up front now. Here he is on the forward run.
Sibbald. Corner. Comes off Kieran.
Yeah, just giving Rangers a little bit different thing to think about rather than Big Miller up there. Sibbald's playing in and around Baird, Hippolyte out wide on the left, and just something different, and that always changes the complex of a game.
So the heavy artillery forward. That means McCracken and Watson. Alston with the latest Falkirk corner. Will Volks. Hippolyte was trying to cause a bit of havoc. Play by Holt. Luke Leahy. Hippolyte. He's given Falkirk an extra dimension, but that's disappointing.
Yeah, just couldn't wrap his foot round it, but as you say, he's been bright since he came on.
It might well be a double substitution shortly. That will be for Rangers. Both Michael O'Halloran and Nicky Clark will be coming on, I can tell you. Aaron Muirhead up towards Tom Taiwo. Almost at the midway point of the second half.
Yeah, I'm sure Peter will be a lot happier second half with the opportunities Falkirk have created. And as you say, double substitution now coming for Rangers.
Kenny Miller makes his way off. Another excellent shift. And it's Nicky Clark who is on the pitch now. Michael O'Halloran. Former St Johnstone player. Still early days for O'Halloran with Rangers. Billy King will be a spectator the rest of the way, but he's congratulated by the manager.
It's good for Rangers to be able to do this. O'Halloran will be desperate to get himself back into the starting lineup, and you know, he's got only 25 minutes to go probably, but he want to make his mark.
Andy Halliday. Ball. Forrester pushing it through. O'Halloran having just come on. Saved by Rogers. Well, put to work there, Danny Rogers.
Yeah, two substitutes linked really well. Forrester, excellent through ball. O'Halloran goes across the keeper. Good effort. Keeper does enough.
Just trying to move it up a gear. Just allowed Falkirk back into it for a few minutes. Falkirk buoyed by the introduction of Miles Hippolyte. Danny Wilson. Here's Mark Warburton's very first signing. Joined just a few hours before the central defensive partner Rob Kiernan.
Yeah, I think it's connected to say he's certainly settled down the last couple of months. You know, defensively, Rangers have been a lot stronger, conceded far less goals. They've gone for the partnership of Kiernan and Wilson, and you know, gelling as a partnership now.
Forrester. Well, he's slipped it through again for O'Halloran, who is offside. Didn't find the back of the net in any case, but the flag was raised. Stuart Hodge, the assistant referee. On with the game. John Baird now. That to pose problems for Rob Kiernan. Turn by Holt. Falkirk ball. Box. Rangers throw in this time. This was the earlier move, offside or not?
Yeah, I think he is. I think he's called right. Nicky Clark was certainly offside, but I think O'Halloran is as well.
Inside the final 20 minutes. Harry Forrester keen to pick out a pass. There's another one. Intended for Nicky Clark that time.
Again, fairly easy all night for Rangers just to pick it up in that central area, number 10 position if you like, turn and run at side, and then run at Falkirk back four and just slide little balls inside, down the sides.
Gargantuan Dundee derby coming up this Sunday, 11:45, BT Sport 2, and also available on BT Sport Extra 1. Sanitise the venue for that derby, and Monday 6:30 BT Sport 1 for the Ladbrokes SPFL highlights. Blair Alston for Falkirk. It's Kiernan with the header away. The shot comes in, and what a goal that was! Good heavens, Blair Alston! He's got Falkirk on the score sheet. A sizzler!
Took nothing away from the strike, but Kiernan heads it out. It's touched there. What an outstanding strike. Two keepers wouldn't have saved that. Ball just doesn't get enough on his with the clearance, so trying to control it here. Now tries to clear it, puts it in the path for Alston, but what a half volley. Technique outstanding, and that is a postage stamp, and game up.
9 for the season as far as Blair Alston is concerned. Played in every single match for Falkirk in this campaign, and there's hope for Peter Houston and company. Not in the bag just yet.
Yeah, as we said, you know, he'll be far happier the second half performance. been creating opportunities, and that taking nothing away from his strike. That is an outstanding bit of ability, technique.
What sort of response will it elicit from Rangers? Holt. Forrester. Alston having to do a bit of defending alongside Muirhead. Throw to Rangers near the corner flag. Well, at this juncture, Kevin O'Hara is going to be introduced. The youngster, Rangers plenty to think about in the last meeting of the sides here. Sybil departs. Kevin O'Hara, only 17, born in Stirling, not so very far away. Last start was on Boxing Day against Dumbarton. By all accounts, he's just tailed off a bit form-wise, but a very bright prospect indeed.
It's understandable for a kid of his age, but they'll certainly give him energy and pace for the last 15-20 minutes.
Booted forward by Muirhead, nodded away by Kiernan. Wilson. Rangers have plenty of bodies forward, and Jason Holt. Superb run, it's offside, yeah. Forrester looking to pull the trigger. Flag up.
Yeah, they've been caught 2 or 3 times, Rangers. Pass just maybe needs to be made earlier. Just gone a bit early, and it's a correct decision, but again, Holt just picks it up in an area and drives, and just delays a pass slightly.
With the light, he's made a difference. Let's see if O'Hara can do the same for the Bairns. Baird. Taiwo. It really was a goal to take the breath away. Instinctive strike. Sent the ball flying into the back of the net. Falkirk have belief anew. Kevin Clancy has spotted that challenge. John Baird just out of control there, and it's a yellow card for Baird.
Yeah, I think this time he gets it correct. A late challenge. Not in control of what he's doing, so I think he's spotting the referee there, yellow card.
It's amazing the difference a goal can make in a game, Stuart. Rangers were seemingly cruising. Yes, a couple of mishaps at the back, couple of Falkirk chances. Mark Warburton's side, now they've got to concentrate to the maximum the rest of the way.
Yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth, Derek, there. It just shows you the goal. Everyone, oh, I say everyone, Falkirk, they get lifted, an extra spring in the step. And sharper, belief's back.
John Baird inside the byline. That's not going to help the Falkirk cause. Bob McHugh is going to be deployed by Peter Houston, so one more substitution. Wilson from the back.
Could only imagine that would be for Baird in a straight swap, but I had Bob at Motherwell, you know, just unfortunate with a lot of injuries, but again, he's another one who knows where the goal is.
Wilson was trying to head flick it on, it's Holt. Looking to telegraph the pass. Kiernan just got away with that. Baird and Hippolyte, he might be in here. Miles Hippolyte for Falkirk. 2-2. Quite the celebration. What a comeback by the Bairns of Falkirk.
Hippolyte takes it well, did it? But for me, it's an error by Kiernan. Takes too big a touch. You see it comes in. Tries to play it there, and that touch is too big. Clips in. Great first touch by Hippolyte. Good second, and you know, a terrific third. He's certainly made a big difference, as you see here. Good little ball. That touch into his own path. Second touch around him. And in fairness, it's a really good goal.
found the angle. Miles Hippolyte. Don't try that at home unless you're in wonderful shape.
Peter Beagrish almost out there, but you know, he did say while at 2-0, you know, the next goal's all crucial. Falkirk have got that belief, but I think it'll still be an open game the last 15 minutes now. It's anyone's.
Up for grabs at the Falkirk Stadium. Here's Forrester for Rangers, away by Watson. Almost as though Rangers were sleepwalking their way to victory.
We said, you know, earlier how they've defensively been stronger the last couple of months, but it's been two sloppy errors really. Ball miss kicking one out, or take nothing away from the strike, and even there, it was a mistake by Kiernan. But Hippolyte, you know, his 3 touches, a really good goal from the kid's point of view.
John Baird, I wondered if he was about to be replaced by Bob McHugh. Things looking up for Peter Houston and Falkirk. I think they are keen to make that change now, Stuart. There's Bob McHugh.
Yeah. A good run by Holt.
Jason Holt. There's Nicky Clark in the centre. Over it comes from Holt. Backed away by Aaron Muirhead. John Baird, remember, picked up the yellow card earlier for the out-of-control challenge. So this is it for Falkirk as far as replacements go.
Great trick. Sent over Baird from the other side to come over here, waste a little bit of time. I think Falkirk would be delighted with a point, but I've seen that done many times. And the striker comes off opposite end of the park to take time up. But yeah, going back to Bob McHugh, he's a great, you know, record goal scorer for under 20s and junior football. Just been hampered by too many injuries in it. He just needs a run in the side injury free.
Bob McHugh, a 24-year-old. 4 goals in 20 matches as a Falkirk player. He started 11 games. Released by Queen of the South at the end of last season. 10 minutes to go. Well, what next? Wasn't a great deal of drama until relatively recently in this game. Rangers looking on course for 3 points, but Halliday with the errant challenge here on Hippolyte.
Yeah, it's certainly been a big turnaround. You couldn't see this, Derek, but you've got to give all credit to Falkirk. 2 really, really good goals. As I said, the Rangers have probably helped a downfall because of the 2 errors they've made, but Falkirk have taken them well.
Headed out of play by Leahy. Tavernier. It's behind Clark. Wilson at the back for Rangers. Stand away by Kiernan. Falkirk through Volks. Trying to test Fodrigan. Insufficient purchase. Tremendous back and forth now. Forrester, and it's going to be play on here. It's Holt. Sticks it across, no handball. Tavernier. O'Halloran, Taiwo, Forrester, hit his own man in Tavernier.
Kraken took Taiwo out there with a 50-50 between each other there. And in the sandwich was O'Halloran. Forrester's effort was maybe heading bottom corner, but deflected off his own man. But yeah, what a grandstand finish now, Derek. And I think both sides will still have chances.
Last time, by the way, Rangers led 2-0 in a game and ended up losing was in the Challenge Cup semi-final, not far from here, at Alloa in last term. Michael O'Halloran, natural runner with the ball at his feet. Strongly in goes Leahy.
That's a really good challenge. If he didn't get that, it's a penalty kick.
Hobbling on, number Falkirk cannot make another personnel change. Used all three substitutes. Halliday to take the corner with 7 minutes to go. Andy Halliday's delivery, and the snap header. And it was Rogers who fielded it. Kiernan was up from the back. Now Holt. Halliday. Tries again here, Andy Halliday. Rogers relying on McCracken in front of him. Here's Kiernan. That headed attempt just seconds ago. Holt. Well, a point could be so vital for Falkirk in terms of finishing ahead of Hibernian, and you never know what's going to happen between now and the end of the regular season.
I don't know what's going to happen in a game, never mind game to game. Yeah, that's incredible change around.
Tavernier. O'Halloran. It's Hippolyte joining in with the defending. Miles Hippolyte, the 21-year-old Londoner, joined in January from Livingston. His Falkirk debut as a substitute against Rangers at Ibrox. Well, Kiernan and O'Hara, who does have a spring in his step, pace in his game. Danny Wilson. Here's Lee Wallace. Trying to pull it back. Nicky Clark. Well, what a challenge that was. David McCracken for Falkirk. Corner here.
Terrific play by Rangers. Great cut back by Wallace. Good chest control, but outstanding defended by McCracken there.
Harry Forrester with the delivery. Rogers got his fist to it. It's Halliday. Falkirk shuffle it clear. Almost an element of going through the motions from Rangers when they led 2-0. Falkirk biting back. It's Tavernier here, and Halliday and Hippolyte with the important intervention. Another Rangers corner, 4.5 minutes left.
Yeah, great defensive work by the winger. Halliday wants to come back onto his left foot. Gives Hippolyte a chance to get back and do the defensive role there.
Andy Halliday. Hippolyte once more. Another chance for Halliday to play this in. Quite what he was hoping for. It's on ball. And it goes. Fletch and Sav in the morning, 10 o'clock, BT Sport 1, Darren Fletcher and Robbie Savage. To get you in the mood for the Barclays Premier League, Everton against Arsenal, also BT Sport 1, Matchday Live. Get closer to the action in 4K on BT Sport Ultra HD. Away goes Bob McHugh. And the 3 Falkirk substitutes used in the second half. At the head of McCracken. He has come into his own in the last few minutes. Plenty of doughty defending from him.
Yeah, that last one from far was goal bound. Was an outstanding challenge.
Rangers leaving it late here. O'Halloran. Tavernier. It's Jason Holt. They're probing. Halliday. Leahy isn't too fussy about where it went. It might drop for O'Hara. And Kiernan just got the touch on the ball. That was crucial. With O'Hara attempting to give Kiernan the runaround.
Yeah, credit to Kiernan there. That's a great piece of defending because O'Hara, really good first touch. He'd have been away, bearing down on goal.
Clever use of the bench by Peter Houston. Different problems for Rangers now with O'Hara on and Hippolyte has had his say as well. Forrester, Leahy and Rodgers preventing the corner.
That was difficult. Obviously Rangers fans behind the goal thought it was out, but Barnes was correct there.
Danny Wilson. Well, the instructions coming from Peter Houston, tweaking things here and there. Mark Warburton can't exactly be thrilled about the twists and turns in the second half. It's very high standards for these Rangers players. Sloppiness did creep in before the first Falkirk goal. Tavernier. Now the release valve. Michael O'Halloran. Forrester off to the right. Harry Forrester. And cleared away by Tom Tywell. Back there as the extra defender for Falkirk.
Yeah, Lee got caught up the park. O'Halloran's got pace to burn. Picks Forrester. Good defending in the end, but end-to-end game, really good finish to it.
Tavernier to take the corner. And Wilson trying to put the pressure on the Kraken. It'll be another corner kick.
Yeah, good defending again by McCracken.
Well, it's opened up here for Jason Holt. And he tries to fire it towards goal. Rangers fans are hoping there was a little nick on the way through. Not so.
No disagreement from Holt there, just sliced it.
Danny Rodgers is biding his time. Will be 3 added minutes, a minimum thereof. It would certainly suit Falkirk more than it would Rangers. I think you can pretty well take it as read that they are going to be crowned champions of the second tier. As a matter of when, not if. They were well in control of this game, leading 2-0. 2-2 as things stand. Forrester and McCracken got in the way again. Pretty organised back there, Falkirk. And Scott maybe for them here to counter-attack. O'Hara. And McHugh is in there. Somehow it's still alive, O'Hara. And now a Falkirk corner in added time.
I think that's another error. Is it Wilson? Goes under his foot. McHugh just can't get in. But again, Rangers... one downfall there again. Wilson not clearing his lines, getting caught out.
Leahy has been under the task of taking this corner. I think we're never going to be all that keen to take it swiftly. Look, Leahy, over it comes. O'Hara. Such a busy young player. Oh, Pandemonium! 3-2! A goal for Falkirk!
Oh, fuck off.
Unbelievable! The Rangers fans trying to digest what has just happened. Astonishing. Bob McHugh, the goal-scoring hero, the super sub.
O'Hara was terrifically well. And McHugh, as I said before he came on, he knows where the goal is. He gets across the near post, as a good strikers do. It's a really deft finish. But all credit to O'Hara there. Ball shouldn't have been beaten out wide. And what a fairy tale comeback. You see Hoosties, delight at that. And what a change around in a game that Rangers were cruising.
Well, that is quite the impact off the bench, and the Rangers fans heading for the exits. What a twist at the Falkirk Stadium tonight. And Bob McHugh, front and centre in the drama. Here's O'Halloran. Just about time for Rangers to respond. A corner.
And again, Derek, going back to the corner that was given away. Came from Wilson's sloppiness. Chance just switched off defensively. The second half, Rangers.
Tavernier. And a shot there from the Rangers players, but it's gone the other way. It's gone Falkirk's way. And now they can probably exhale.
Gotta say, the impact the substitutions have been made by Peter Houston. McHugh gets what looks like the winner. Hippolyte's been instrumental and scored. And O'Hara, they're making the goal. So, Peter will be delighted with the three lads he brought on. And maybe, I don't think anyone could have foreseen what happened. Miller going off for Rangers, lost a little bit of control of the game. And paid for mistakes, but all credit to Falkirk.
What a turnaround! Defeat for Rangers, victory for Falkirk. It looked highly unlikely not so long ago. From 2-0 down to 3-2 up. And Bob McHugh revelling in the moment. He wasn't long on the pitch. Finishing from close range. Prior to that, Blair Alston with a cracking goal. Miles Hippolyte on target as well. Rangers led early on through Kenny Miller and Barry Mackay, but they've gone down at the Falkirk Stadium again. The final score is Falkirk 3, Rangers 2.
Derek and Stuart, thank you very much indeed. It says it all, their faces. What a match we had here on this Friday night, as we did earlier this season when we saw them. Falkirk won that day here, and they have done it again. The home double over Rangers this season. Maybe this title race isn't over yet. Falkirk are certainly looking up the table, and why not? What a victory for Peter Houston's men. Some finish to this match. And I wonder if we'll have more drama on Sunday. Huge game in the Premiership, the Dundee Derby. We're live with you on BT Sport 2 from 11:45 AM. So the Championship table tonight then, Rangers knew at the start of the night they needed 4 more victories to win the league. It is still the case because Falkirk have closed the gap to 11 points for now, and Hibs have now got work to do as well to catch them. It's a 6-point gap to Hibs. Of course, Hibs have the games in hand, one of which is a tough one away at Raith Rovers tomorrow. And all of the Falkirk fans and the Rangers fans, no doubt, will be watching that one very closely now. 3 other games tomorrow too. Well, Rangers were totally dominant for 45 minutes here, but full credit to Falkirk. A second half performance that just underlines their playoff credentials. It shows how far they've come this season under Peter Houston. 3-2 winners. There is so much to look back on. Our review comes next.
Ladbrokes backing Scottish football on BT Sport.
Don't worry, Arsenal fans. When you're trying to win the title, everyone gets a little edgy. It's time to think positive. It's Everton away. What's the worst that can happen? Maybe that wasn't the best example. But come on, there's still plenty of points to play for. Everton Arsenal, tomorrow, midday, live on BT Sport 1.
I think that's why we are still together. Because of my nice, smooth driving.
It pays to be a safer driver.
That wasn't very good, Malcolm.
Using our Aviva Drive app to monitor your driving, safer drivers could save an average of £150 on our car insurance. Visit Aviva to download the app.
The future belongs to the fast, and to help you accelerate, we've created a new company, one totally focused on what's next for your business. Accelerating innovation, accelerating next. Hewlett-Packard Enterprise.
Hunt down our Easter mega deals at Curry's PC World. These HP laptops come with a fast A8 processor, 2 terabytes of storage and audio by B&O Play, all for an astonishing $349. Protect your laptop, mobile and tablet for less with our McAfee and Norton security range. Yours from only £15. Save £200 and get free delivery on these 9-kilo Samsung washing machines with a 5-year guarantee. Just $399. Easter mega deals. At Curry's PC World, we start with you.
What's your name? Egg. That's a beautiful name.
Have a fling with a cream egg.
I'm sorry, mistakes are part of being young. I'm sorry, so
Wash away the stain, not the paint, with Dulux Endurance.
Hurry up, I'm halfway through.
I hear Paddy Power have a new way you can place a bet with just one touch.
Ah, yes, our exclusive one-touch betting.
The fastest way to bet and play. But what do I do when I'm playing the piano?
Well, have you tried using your nose?
My nose? Don't be ridiculous. How would I watch the sport?
Well, you can always try using your...
Yes, I'm touching it right now. Place my bet instantly. Thank you, Paddy Power.
You're welcome.
Enter a world of blood and steel. Build a mighty fortress. Summon the bravest heroes. And fight for glory. Forge alliances with other players. Unite your clan. Send your Vikings on a war of conquest and battle players from around the world. Play Vikings War of Clans for free.
If something is a big deal, we think you should know it's a big deal. People everywhere are missing out on tens of millions of pounds of rewards and cashback every year. Some of that can be yours. Switch to Barclays and you can sign up online to Blue Rewards. Never has something so huge been so simple. To apply for Blue Rewards, all you have to do is...
We just thought you should know.
I have imagined every scenario, every twist, every turn, each possibility, all probability. The chance, this is only part of it. Whether I win or lose, it's not the result that defines me. It's how I play the game.
Play online and get £10 free at gentingcasino.com.
Ladbrokes backing Scottish football on BT Sport.
We've been served another feast of entertainment at the Falkirk Stadium tonight. Rangers looked out of sight at half-time after Kenny Miller, and then Barry Mackay scored, and in truth it could have been more. But into the second half, and a totally different ballgame. Blair Alston's screamer got the Bairns back into this match. What a hit it was. Miles Hippolyte got them level. He was the game changer really off the bench. Lovely finish round the goalkeeper. That was 2-all at that point. And then sub Bob McHugh, another sub, got the late winner. Head over heels he was too, and McHugh with the winner at the near post here. What a night for Falkirk. Let's get reaction. Two of the goal scorers are with Ailey Barber.
Bob, super sub, the man of the moment. Talk me through the last couple of minutes of that match.
No, I knew I was hoping we'd have a wee chance when I came on, and to be fair, the boys started poor the night, but as the game went on, we looked as if we could maybe nick a goal and get ourselves back into it. And I think the three subs that came on gave a wee bit of energy to the team, and I'm just delighted to get the 3 points.
It was a slow start. What was said at half-time for you guys to come out and keep the belief?
I couldn't even tell you. I was outside warming up. I'd imagine when I'd been happy, I'd have been trying to get them to lift it. You know ourselves, it's nowhere near the level that we've been producing this year, so just delighted.
I'm afraid the guy next to you still wins on the celeb front. I'm afraid. Miles, a great celeb, but a great goal as well. What was said to you as you came on?
You know, just do what I can, just try to attack, just get in their faces and try, get a goal. And I done that, and I'm just happy for the team mainly because we put in a great performance in the second half, and yeah, it's just fantastic results. So, congrats to the boys as well. We've done well, and then Bob scoring it for us just tips it off. So it's fantastic. Yeah.
The club can do something special this season. You're second at the moment.
Yeah.
You all want to play your part. Coming off the bench, how much drive does that give you, knowing that there is something so special potentially at the end of this season?
Massive. You know, obviously last season wasn't the best because I was at the bottom, so I'm not used to fighting at the top for a position. But it's been great. You know, fighting for second position is great amongst Hibs and Rangers, big teams, and you know, I think we're just as good. We're putting in the performances week in, week out. We're training hard and we're doing everything right. So the more time we get on the pitch and the more time we get together, gel as a team, we're definitely going to do well, and hopefully that second spot will be secure for us. So yeah.
Well done tonight, guys. Thank you.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Alex Rae and Stephen Craigan have been watching on tonight, and what an advert that was for our game and for the Scottish Championship. What a second half.
It was absolutely unbelievable. You have to give Falkirk all the credit. You know, I think the substitutions made all the difference, and you know, I think Mark Walbert will be in there kind of saying to yourself, why do we not have that sewn up by half time?
He'll be stunned in there, but we should go through the game from the start really, because Rangers started so well, and it was 2-0 quite early on. It should have actually been more. We'll see some of the chances in a minute, but two well taken goals.
Well, Rangers exposed Falkirk's wide players. You know, Falkirk's wide players, we said at half-time, didn't defend well enough. They left the space in behind, and you know, particularly against Tavernier on the right-hand side and Lee Wallace for the second one, they love running in behind. You know, they love that space. Rangers have got players like Dominic Ball and Jason Holt and Andy Holiday who can pick people off. You know, Kenny Miller was seeing him dropping down the midfield. They were picking up passes. Falkirk couldn't cope with them. You know, Rangers were moving the ball well. They were sharp in possession. They were taking minimal touches. Falkirk couldn't get the grips, and they were exposing them in behind. They were getting, you know, all sorts of pressure. And at this stage, you know, you said yourself, it could have been 2, 3 or 4, if not more. But suddenly, you know, in football, you always get a second chance, and Falkirk got a second chance in the second half.
It all looks relatively simple, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. But we said that at half-time. Peter Houston would go in there and saying, listen, get a goal back, the whole complexion of the game changes, and it's exactly what happened.
Because Rangers, you mentioned, it could have been 2, it could have been 3, and it should have actually been 3 if you think about it, that James Tavernier was through in goal early on, and this was onside, Stephen.
Well, this was the warning sign for Falkirk right early on. This was in the opening 2 minutes of the game, or even 3 minutes of the game. You know, playing a high line, leaving space in behind, that's a poor decision by the referee's assistant. That has to be a goal.
And they'll look back on that now, and they'll rue that decision, of course, but they'll also see all these other chances that you mentioned, Alex, and they'll think that Barry Mackay should have scored there. He was excellent tonight before he was taken off. We think he might be injured, but other opportunities as well.
Yeah, there was plenty going a begging. You know, Mackay could have went round the keeper just before that one, picking out someone there. This is Andy Halliday hitting a pile driver, punched away by the keeper. So, you know, it was like wave after wave of attack in this first half. There you go, Wallace again, just down the keeper's throat, and he managed to save it comfortable there.
So why did it all change in the second half then?
Well, Peter Houston made positive substitutions. He brought on Miles Hippolyte. Kevin O'Hara eventually came into the frame. He brings on Bob McHugh. You know, when they played here in December, Dal, the one thing Falkirk done here in December was they were energetic. They were in about Rangers. They were making tackles. I mean, that's a terrific goal. You know, that is out of the top drawer. I just felt in a game like tonight, they needed something special to get back into the game because Rangers were that far ahead. That is certainly something special.
What a smash that is.
It was a phenomenal strike. From a Rangers point of view, I think they were looking to get better, more distance from...
the first clearance?
Yeah, first clearance. It was a poor header down into traffic again, but that's an absolute top drawer finish from Alston, and that really got their tails up.
And then it got even better. Your man Miles Hippolyte off the bench, and you did say he changed the game totally.
It just completely galvanised them. You know, the goal, you could sense the fans felt as if something was going to happen. And when you bring a substitute on with pace and with power, you want him to go at people. You want a winger to go and commit people, setting up Will Volkser. But again, you know, pace running through, energy running through in the pitch. He wanted the ball. You know, Alex said when he came on that sometimes you can be a hit or a miss. Sometimes that's wingers who are trying to find their feet in football. They can be brilliant 1 minute and, you know, a little bit slack the next. But he made an impression. He's made an impression on everybody. And when his moment arose to go round the goalkeeper, he showed his class, he showed his composure. Terrific.
First goal for Falkirk. His last goal, by the way, for Livingston was against Rangers.
Yeah, again, the centre-half here is really poor. He takes a bad touch and puts us in all sorts of trouble. Great composure by Hippolyte to round the keeper here and just lots it past him. I think it's Danny Wilson trying to recover on the line, but the pace of the ball kills him there. So, you know, and then the rightest game on now.
And he ran right over towards you and celebrated. He was absolutely delighted. It was the big comeback, wasn't it? Peter Houston must be over the moon, really, head over heels, I guess you could say. Here he is with Ailey.
Well, Peter, I have to admit, I thought that was all over at half-time. I'm sure you didn't, though.
Yeah, I've got to say, Rangers blew us apart in the first half. We couldn't match them for their pace, their energy,
the runs off the ball, and I was delighted to come in at 2-0 because they could have scored 4 or 5 goals. But it just shows you the character that this Falkirk side have shown throughout the season, that we never know when we're beaten. I did say at half time 2-0 is a funny score, get us back into it, and we'll see how Rangers react to it. But I thought our boys were magnificent, and the second half performance might well have shaded the game.
What does it say about the strength of character of your dressing room that they were able to come back, and what does it say about what they can achieve this season?
Well, exactly right, you know, because a lot of people at half time would have thought, how many more are Rangers going to score in the first half? And I've got to say, we had stern words at half time with regards to how easy it was that Rangers cut us open. But I've got to give credit to Rangers. Their movement was killing us, their pace was killing us, but we sorted things out. We changed our shape slightly, and then we got that goal. We needed the next goal, and we got it. And from then on in, we put a lot of energy, a lot of effort. Our boys put themselves, you know, they're throwing themselves at shots at goal that Rangers had, and then we scored a couple of good goals that got us a victory.
Some very influential substitutions as well. In hindsight, should you have set up differently, or is that what they're there for on the bench?
We've set up with the same shape for most of the season. With a couple of strikers up there, maybe one dropping into the midfield. It just didn't happen for us, and I don't put it down to the way that so much we played. I think it was down to the way that Rangers started, and I thought they started magnificently, you know, and I've got to give them credit for that, as I say. But we tinkered with our shape, and we got players wider, we got in behind them, and I think that hurt them.
It's a massive 3 points, perhaps crucial come the end of the season, but is it the manner in which you won those 3 points that may prove to be the most important?
Yeah, absolutely. We're in a position that we've got ourselves in that position that we are still challenging for second place. For a club this size, with the resources that we've got, it's a huge achievement. There's still a lot of work still to be done, but points on the board is a big thing, you know. So a lot of probably Hibs expected us to lose that game, and at half time so did I. But I'm just delighted at the fact that we come back into it and shows great character and won the match.
Well done tonight, Peter. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, Ailey.
So much can get lost in a frantic game like that, but we should remember at 2-2 there was some heroic defending by Falkirk, and in particular David McCracken, who hurled himself in front of Nicky Clark here just when it looked like he might get the winner for Rangers.
Well, there's always so many crucial moments in the game, and from a defensive point of view, that's huge from David McCracken. Your most experienced player is reading the game, is understanding of the game. I said to Alex, that's like celebrating the goal. Yeah. You know, as a centre half, when you make a block like that, it gives you so much drive and energy to try and push everybody else forward. And then he went and pushed his teammates forward.
He did, and that made the difference because Bob McHugh then got the winner.
Yeah,
wild scenes after.
Yeah, absolutely. O'Hara has to take a lot of credit here because he drives at I think his ball here, gets him on the wrong foot, backs up. It's a lovely ball, but McHugh gets across the face there, and it's instinctive, and it's a fantastic finish and a worthy winner.
You know, games once, it doesn't really matter, does it, Stephen? But you do wonder why Falkirk didn't play like that from the start, like they did when Rangers were last year and pacey runners were on the pitch.
Well, Peter said it himself that they've been on good form. I think since they lost at Ibrox, they haven't lost in the league. So he obviously felt they were doing well. But sometimes managers have a little habit of looking back to when they last played against the side and when they beat them. And what got them success that day. And the day back here in December was pace, was energy, was young Wahar running behind, was John Baird running behind, and Rangers couldn't cope with that. Rangers back forward couldn't cope with that. But once he made the substitutions in the second half, it just highlighted the little problem Rangers still have. Defensively, there's huge question marks.
Will be very interesting to hear what Mark Warburton has made of that 90 minutes. Here he is with Ailey.
Mark, given that first half performance, should that really have been 3 points tonight?
Absolutely, yeah. We should have been out of sight after 10-15 minutes. We started off really brightly. The offside goal from Kenny, but gave us real hope that there's area to exploit in the first half, and we did that. 2 quick goals, and we should have had 3, 4, 5 and gone from there, and we were very, very good. But little warning signs, we were sloppy, loose passes, almost too easy, and we spoke at half time about tying it up, taking care of the park, and we've gone from being very good and outstanding recently to possibly our worst performance in the second half.
You made substitutions early, took Barry Mackay off quite early. Did you feel it was one?
No, not at all. It was using our squad. We make subs on the hour normally to maintain the energy and the tempo. And Barry's been first class. It was just looking after him. He's away on 21 duty, and trying to look after the squad and get the most out of the rest of the season. So no far from it. We put on people like Michael O'Halloran attacking, Harry Forrester attacking, Nicky Clark attacking. So there's no complacency from our perspective.
It may not change the outcome of the season in terms of where you finish, but mentally, how do you pick your players up from this?
We're what, 13 points clear where we are now still, so it's not a problem picking them up. What we've got to do is learn from it. We were very, very poor second half, and as good as we were first half, we were poor second half, so that can't happen.
Thank you very much, Mike.
Pleasure, thanks very much.
He's clearly not too concerned about the league position. I think he knows they're still onto a good thing there. But you guys were wondering when Barry Mackay came off, why he came off, and it sounds like he's not injured there. It's purely to give him a rest because he's going to be going away with Scotland under 21s.
Yeah, but I think partly it's to rotation. You know, they want Forrester and that on playing as well, and to rotate the squad. But
wasn't he Rangers' best player?
For me, he was the man of the match tonight. I thought he was outstanding from start to finish, and I was actually surprised when he took him off so early. But you know, as he says, he does that on a regular basis. But again, I think he should have stayed on the pitch tonight.
Took you by surprise as well?
It did. You know, I can understand if he maybe took off Andy Halliday or Kenny Miller. Kenny was doing well, but when you've got the bright spark on the pitch is on your side and he's causing problems and he's running in behind and he's taking his man on, Mark's the manager. Ultimately, he has the last call. But I've no doubt underneath tonight he'll be thinking, I should have left him on. Yes, he's given us a squad rotation comment. That's fine, I understand that, but not your best player.
They still need 4 more victories, of course, to seal the title. And we can actually look at the run-ins of all the teams that are involved in the top 3 in the playoff race as well. The race to finish second in Rangers, you can see that the 4 victories, well, it might there's a gap there because they've got a couple of trips to Hampden first, don't they, including the Old Firm game against Celtic. So maybe they could win the league if all goes to plan against Hibs away, but plenty more work before that because they've still got to go to Raith Rovers. St Mirren are involved in that mix as well. As you can see, Alex, all 3 teams still to play, but on the balance, Hibs have got a lot of games left with their cup competitions as well, so they still have to make up ground, but all of a sudden it looks interesting, a few of the fights, especially in second place.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the key thing for Falkirk tonight is I seen them about 5 months ago, and the character that Peter was talking about earlier on was evident again tonight, and with that they'll have a belief that they can get second, and it'll be ever so important for them obviously getting into that players, because that's them now secured that.
Are they now strong favourites for second, given the gap, the points on the board?
Well, having the points on the board makes them maybe slight favourites. I wouldn't say strong favourites, but what tonight does, it gives them more confidence, gives them a lot more belief that they really can come second. Sometimes as a manager you're always trying to convince players, you know, you can do it. They have to produce performances and produce results. Tonight was terrific for them.
Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed. As you can see in BT Sport 1 next, it's football tonight. Over on BT Sport 2, a special documentary about Jorge Lorenzo from the MotoGP world. And we'll see you Sunday morning for the Dundee Derby, 11:45 AM, BT Sport 2. See you then, bye-bye.